All right, welcome back to the program. My guest, as you can see right there, is Abike Dabiri. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians In Diaspora Commission.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we finally landed here. We finally landed here after quite a while.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, and great job on your program. Great job.
Thank you. First time I'm hosting you, really.
Absolutely.
What has happened?
Well, we tried.
We tried, yes, it's just the scheduling. But it's good to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
How does it feel being on this side? I've always wanted to ask you, because you were always on my side before.
Yeah, but I've been on this side for
a while.
12 plus 4 plus, but I still miss it though.
Has it left you totally?
No, absolutely not. You can't leave you totally. I mean, you know that. It's your profession, it's your job. In fact, for everything I say, I always say a news story. I was just telling Gabriel now that I saw some news stories that I think can be developed to one thing or the other. So it never leaves you. And it's something I still, hope to do as a hobby, and there's still so much you can do with broadcasting, actually.
Broadcasting, yes. It never leaves, really.
It never leaves. Yeah.
And that is one profession you do till you are old.
Exactly.
Really.
Till you die.
Till you die, yeah. Okay, let's get down to business. NIDCOM. This administration established NIDCOM?
Yeah, so NIDCOM was 3 years old just a few days ago in July. We normally mark it in July. So yeah, 3 years old as a commission strictly for the diaspora. And I'm glad that within the 3 years, we have a diaspora policy in place, which was ratified by the Federal Executive Council. So it's now a policy to do some things, in line with the diaspora. And a few programs in place. Of course, the Diaspora Day is July 25. That has been on for about 15 years. This year makes it the 15th year, but our 3rd year of handling it. So we want to make it bigger and better and make it like the National Day for the diaspora.
Well, who was in charge of the Diaspora Day before you took
we had diaspora organizations. Oh, yeah. Don't forget that President Obasanjo, over 20 years ago, told Nigerians to form themselves into a group called Nigeria Diaspora Organization as an umbrella body for all Nigerians abroad. But however, it turns out that not all Nigerians really wanted to be part of just one umbrella. So we have quite a number of associations. So we have involved virtually all associations now to be part of the Diaspora Day. So it's been on, but now that you have an agency, you can focus on it, you can make it bigger and better, and you can involve all Nigerians in the diaspora. And I'm glad that the reviews are really good, and they look forward to it.
Do you have an idea of how many Nigerians are in diaspora?
Well, we're dealing with 17 million. 17
Nigerians
million,
in
yes, all over the world. And don't forget that we have a whole lot within the African continent.
So the 17 million is excluding those on the
African because continent? We have not done, it's including them, but I think it's even more than that. By the time we've opened a data portal, Nigerians, we really don't want to give our data away, is it? But the idea is that it's just your name, what you do, and all that. And with the NIN ongoing and everything, we'll come up with more accurate figures. In Sudan alone, we're looking at about 5 million. You don't want to talk
Sudan?
about... Yes. We focus only US, UK. It's huge.
I know that there are a lot of Nigerians sending their children to school now, even in Sudan.
I'm not talking about sending their children to school. I'm talking of people living there. The richest guy in Sudan is a Nigerian in real estate. So we're looking at the world. You'll be surprised what we have in places like Vietnam. And from Kazakhstan, we had a Nigerian, the leader of the Nigerian community, who came to participate in the Diaspora Day. He came home for that and said, you know what, I want to do more with all the islands and all those countries around that area. So it's huge, really. And that's what we're talking about, human capital development.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a bit, the brain capital, so to speak. I didn't know it was up to that. That means, I knew at least it was in the millions, but with what you're saying right now, that means that there are Nigerians that are countries in other countries.
Yes, absolutely. If you put the figure together, it's more than some countries.
Countries, even like 2, 3 countries.
Absolutely.
There are some countries and islands that have 2 million, 3, 4, 5 million.
So we can be looking at them both, whether they are regular or irregular migrants. That's another matter. So some will not show up to say this is where I am, but but really it's huge. And we all know that more. I'm not even talking about students. I'm not adding people who, because a diaspora is somebody who is living in another country, has lived there for over a year, as an address, as a home, as a location. Students, another thing. You go to school, you want to come back. But what I tell you students to do is particularly for the young ones, just register with the missions. Let them know you're there. A lot of them just go and you just do your thing. They will tell us, oh, we don't care about them, they don't listen to us. Go there. When Ukraine happened, you could see that you needed to have that data. When COVID happened, you could see that you needed to have that data. So data is key, and we're focusing a whole lot on that. You know, just go there, let them know you're there, let them have your details in case of, as we say, in case there's a problem.
Yeah. What has been the diaspora interaction with your agency since you came up? How has the interaction
It's continuous. Been? Well, we're building on it. We're trying to interact with as many groups as possible. As I speak with you, according to our legal department, we've had over 147 groups that have even registered diaspora associations. Because when we got on board, we said, if you want to register, we need to know where you're based and all that. So 147 in the last 3 years. And there are so many existing groups and organizations. Now, some don't join groups. Some will never go to the missions. Yeah. But, you know, they're excelling in everywhere. So it's various ways of contact through groups, associations, through individuals, and then through other Nigerians who will tell us, do you know this guy is here, or you need to meet him. So multifaceted approach to engaging with them. But we need to do a whole lot more. I mean, there are still some who still don't even know that there's a diaspora commission. And I saw you asking. So we need to do a lot more, particularly in countries we don't usually focus attention on.
Or countries you don't have missions. Because
no, even if you don't have missions. Like just yesterday, I got a distress call from a Nigerian in Colombia. He got there, he went with his green card, he lives in America, thought his green card would get in him. Yeah. But he ran us, and we're trying to solve his problem, but there's no mission in Colombia. So hopefully the one in Venezuela, or he applies online or something and sees how we can now get. So there are many, even if you don't have a mission, there's somebody overseeing you. Like take Northern Cyprus, where we've had serious issues, particularly with our students. We don't have nobody has any mission in Northern Cyprus because it's not recognized by the UN. But our students are going there in droves. And we have a lot of students going to Northern Cyprus to school, and I think it's a disaster zone as I speak with you. And we've had the students come back and tell us experiences, and they have formed themselves into groups to warn other Nigerian students to be careful of some places you go to. So it's a whole lot more to do, Ministry of Education and all that, how to be a multi-agency approach to a whole lot of things. So like I said, I'm not even talking about students, but I'm talking about the data. So the students, and I'm appealing to them, let the missions know you're there, what you're doing. It's just a one-line registration.
Okay, I'm curious how the guy in Colombia, the Nigerian guy in Colombia, got across to you.
Well, we have open door policy. It's easy to reach us on our website. We have phone numbers. Okay. Then everybody seems to have my number and email address and all that. So, and then they also get in touch with our staff. So I just called his call in the middle of the night and said, this is my problem. You know, but then he went with his green card, but then you have to use your Nigerian passport. But I hope we'll solve this problem. They're on the case as I speak with you. And then we work a lot with the Director Consular, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So when there's a problem, consular issues, Ambassador Ella is there, our legal department is there. And we find that we solve these issues, you know, in as much as we can. So we don't do it alone. We work with them and then share information, see what can be done or cannot be done. Even this morning in South Africa, there's a case of rape. About some...
Yeah. Is this a gang rape issue was in Nigeria?
Yeah. Well, no,
because I know that...
I don't know the details.
In fact, they're like gang rapes almost all the time in South Africa.
So I'm not saying they're Nigerians, but it looks like there's some involvement. At least it was... The production outfit is owned by a Nigerian group. So the ambassador, as I speak with you, is having a meeting on that with the authorities to know the actual situation and what is going on. So a lot of things... Even in Italy, you know what just happened about the Nigerian that was...
yes.
The physically challenged Nigerian that was assaulted. I think that was really, really wicked. I mean, this is a physically challenged person, and you beat him up, and people were watching him, beating him up until he died. But the good thing is, as we say, our missions are really very proactive. The Nigerian ambassador, even as I speak with you now, there's a meeting at about 1 p.m. Nigerian time with the authorities. There's a lawyer involved in the matter, and the late Nigerian had his own lawyer who had been dealing with this case. So the key thing is justice must be done. And then people are rallying around to support the wife financially. One of the demands of Nigeria is that wife at least should get a job and have something doing, because she was actually helping her husband, who was physically challenged. You know, yeah, Canada, again, 2 Nigerians that were killed in a nightclub. The mission, again, is on top of the matter. I think one person has been arrested. At least they've identified one chap. I don't know whether they're still looking for him. They've identified somebody. But we know that they will ensure that they are apprehended and justice is done.
For all those cases that you've handled, I know, for example, the South Africa, the xenophobia case, was it like 2 years ago during the lockdown? Because I personally...
Before the lockdown.
Yeah, was it before the lockdown? I personally watched you on a Ghana television. I don't know, I just bumped into it. You remember the interview I was talking about?
I can't remember, there were so many.
Yeah, you had an interview with a Ghanaian television.
Oh yeah, they were trying to be rude.
Yeah, so I just bumped into it, so I was like watching. That was the issue. Okay, even the Ghana
that was even Ghana
issue. Yes, and all of that. Do you have follow-ups on all
absolutely.
that? For that, for example, what has happened?
No,
South
absolutely.
Africa's xenophobia that they burnt the properties of Nigerians. Or
yes.
after 1 week, it just fades out.
No, nothing fades out. Like the Ghanaian issue, you know, the Ministry of Trade, if you followed it, even the president intervened, set up a team led by Minister of Trade and Industries, Otobani Adebayo, and several meetings and engagements with the Ghanaian authorities. And you could see that as at today, there's been some measure of agreement. So Nigerian traders, Ghanaian traders actually sat together. What are we doing wrong? What are you doing wrong? What is the way forward? And we came up with an agreement that both sides need to abide by. So it doesn't stop. Which one again?
The xenophobia issue.
Well, the xenophobia is not just Nigerian. It's a South African problem.
Yeah.
And even the two presidents, like I said, were fully involved. And again, the two missions. Now, there's an early warning signal, like what happened today. It's like the early warning signal is working. Is it yesterday that this just happened about the rape thing? The thing is, no case is swept under the carpet. It shouldn't be swept under the carpet. And our missions are always on top.
Is justice served? Because
well, it varies from country to country. Like, you can't force a country to have their justice served the way it will be done in another country. So, but what we demand is justice must be served. For instance, this gang rape now is being investigated, and the ambassador actually has told them, listen, we won't take anything into our hands. Let's know what happened. Don't twist the stories. Let's ensure everything is done. And then the good thing is, now you know that somebody is speaking for Nigerians in the diaspora. So when we get information, we work with our missions, and we ensure that these things are resolved as soon as possible. So it's enormous responsibilities, a lot of challenges, but we're talking about our human beings, our people. And even in the UAE,
issue of even trafficking and all of that?
Well, trafficking is NAPTIP.
Yes, I'll come to that in terms of multi-agency collaboration.
Yeah, but in the UAE now, you hear the stories, oh, they're not giving you visas. They are giving visas, but it's now more difficult. So what they were not asking for before, they are now asking for. If you're a 30-year-old male, you can't go to UAE just anyhow. You'll be given some stringent conditions that will be tight for you to be able to meet. And then, as at today, if you want to apply, you must show that you have a return ticket, your accommodation, where you're going to stay. Don't give fake accommodation. If you do, they'll return you back from the airport. And then what's the third thing now? Your 6 months bank account details, which wasn't happening before.
Why do you think that countries are revising their travel guidelines right now for Nigeria?
Well,
because
for the UAE,
it's happening.
Well, for the UAE, we saw it coming, unfortunately. I mean, I remember once I actually announced names. I mentioned the names of some guys who went to rob, daylight robbery of a bank in UAE. And some accused me, why are you mentioning their names? And I'm like, they did it. They're serving life in prison. It should have been death. But the intervention, and then they don't, it's like, okay, life imprisonment, they're still there. And then when you see videos, when you see real life occurrences of our people behaving badly, in as much as I keep saying one bad apple should not spoil the whole bunch, but the bad is definitely affecting the good. So, but the good thing about the UAE is that Nigerians are getting themselves together and saying, this is who we are. They don't represent us. But at the same time, you cannot ignore what your fellow Nigerian is doing, which is embarrassing others. So why we keep saying one bad apple cannot spoil, that person cannot define who I am. They also have to protect their country. And that is why one of the things they have done is making the visas a bit more stringent, because they know that majority are good and spending their money there and doing a whole lot of things. They are just interested in tourism. So it's important that we look at both sides of it, and we should also tell ourselves the truth. We can't behave badly and expect people not to react to us. But the good ones should not keep quiet And that's what is happening in the UAE now. The good ones are saying, look, 90% of us are working here and doing great things, so don't judge us by their behavior. But I keep telling them that this is not about government anymore, it's about you. And speaking out and showing the true Nigerians and ensuring that they listen. And I believe this is part of the outcome of all that. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Dada, was there. The Binational Commission just met recently and came up with a few more resolutions about UAE-Nigeria relations.
Do you think that Nigeria is also being judged internationally as a result of that? Our economy now is not as buoyant as it is.
No, which economy is buoyant?
Yeah, but
no, you cannot judge.
No, there are many economies that are better than we are. There are some countries that are respected than we are. I want to find out what your, how your relationship with, especially when you're speaking with government people abroad, because there is a sense that Nigeria is no longer as respected as we used to be.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with you. You need to speak to these people and comment and hear what they say. Nigeria is actually highly respected. We should never talk down on ourselves. Nigeria is highly respected. In fact, where was it the last place everywhere they show that respect. That a few people behave badly does not mean anything. Nigeria is highly respected, and let us also respect ourselves. If you go out, leave your country, attack your country, abuse your own country, then there's a problem. So it is that person that I'm talking about out of Nigeria that is actually making a fool of him or herself. Let me tell you something. There's a lady, she's American. She's done her DNA, and she's Nigerian. She said, I'm coming to celebrate my birthday in Nigeria. Some Nigerians said, don't go. This will happen, that will happen. She not only came, celebrated, she's been coming every year to mark her birthday in Nigeria. So what I say is, if you speak bad about your country, then you're probably embarrassing every one of us.
Don't you think there's a thin line between speaking bad and speaking fact and speaking the truth?
So let me
For example, what I do, I can't say that white is black.
Absolutely, I can't either. What I do,
yes.
No, I can't say white is black. The economy has challenges. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. And we've seen a lot of things happen. We've had the COVID-19. We've had even the Ukraine-Russian war. A lot of things have happened. The world is in trouble. And I'm even telling Nigerians that as you are going to those countries you are going to have their own problems. And that's why it's more difficult now to say you're just going. If you're not going to something that is assured, it's more difficult. You're better off here. And that is the truth. That's not black being white. I receive people all the time. They come to me, just walk into my office and come to say thank you thereafter, or just walk in and say, this is my problem. My staff are here. We receive them all the time. And the message is this. Honestly speaking, if you're not sure of what you're going to do, it's not worth it. And I received a lady from Lebanon who said, I'd rather be selling anything under the bridge than go through this. So let's be careful of, fine, if I'm a doctor or I'm a professional, I graduated, I'm 30 years old, and then I get a job abroad, of course I'll go. But there's so many just going into nothingness, and I say seeking hope and hopelessness. So, and I hope that you will join in that campaign of saving that next person. It's tougher out there for so many people. And they come back to us and say, listen, we never knew this would happen. It's very important that we do that.
What would you say about the Jackpa mentality right now? I want to Jackpa, especially in the last few years that a lot of Nigerians are not comfortable economically. Purchasing power has been eroded, inflation is high, everything seems to be wrong with the economy, insecurity is not even solving the problems, and Nigerians are not having hope anymore in this country, and they want to Jackpa, they want to take the next available plane out of Nigeria.
If you want to Jackpa in a regular manner, Jackpa in a legitimate manner. It's tough for even the legitimate ones, not talk of the what we call irregular or irregular migration. So if you want to Jackpa, maybe that's where your destiny is. Go in search and fulfill your destiny, but go in a regular, proper manner, because more often than not, based on what we say all the time, it ends up in a disaster.
Okay, let's go back to, I'm really interested to know the ratio of Nigerians. I don't know if you also have an idea of it, but I think you should. Where are Nigerians in diaspora? Which countries are they?
No, US. The largest number of, at least those, when we talk about accurate data, US has the largest number.
I know it's been US for a long time.
For a long time, it still is. It still is, and particularly Houston, New York, Atlanta, Dallas area, quite a number of Nigerians, and then Europe, of course. Like I said, we're not focusing more on Nigerians on the African continent because it's about ECOWAS. We move, you don't need any visa.
Now about AFTA.
Yes. So it still remains the U.S. And the beauty about the U.S., again, as you know, we're described as the most educated immigrants anywhere in the world. And it still remains that way, anywhere in the world. So what we try to do as a commission is, okay, so we're the most educated, we're the most literate. How does that translate to whatever we do back home? And I'll tell you, we're impressed with the collaboration with Nigerians all over the world, US, Europe, and all that. Quite a number of them were here for the Diaspora Day, and it's amazing what Nigerians in the diaspora are doing back home and willing to do. Take Medicare, for instance. A lot of them have come to Nigeria to set up hospitals. You know, by the time we book all that together, even the Duchess International that the VP went to, a Nigerian based in the US is there running it. So you have places like that where you can come back, give your services and all that. And we have almost about 6. I tell you now that today in Nigeria, you can do an open heart surgery in 2 hospitals confidently set up by Nigerians. One is in Imo State, Region Strokes. One is here in Abuja. They were all at the Diaspora Day. They have challenges, no doubt, and we continue to work with the government team to see how these challenges can be eroded. But guess what? They'll tell you something. We don't regret coming back. It's tough, but we don't regret it.
What are your objectives for really doing a Diaspora Day? Because it's just about, let's come gather and talk.
Well, let's celebrate. No, we're talking about human capital development. Fine. I was having a conversation not too long ago, and it's like, a country, usually when you're in trouble, you usually turn to your diaspora. You know, so we have this largest number of diaspora all over the world. What are we doing with them? India, Pakistan, Israel, they can't talk about their development without their diaspora. So we should not be left behind. India set up a whole ministry for overseas affairs, away from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you know, that handle their diaspora. So
India's diaspora got the Indian economy out of trouble some time ago.
So we're hoping, maybe not out of trouble, we're hoping that whatever we can, Ireland, when Ireland was in recession, 1,000 Irish diaspora got together and saved their country. So we are building that process gradually, not about saving, but if we are the best in the world, what does it translate to? I have a young Nigerian who came in for the Diaspora Day. Guess what he did? He's in the tech world. He went to schools to train young Nigerians. That's having his own impact. Doctors are coming on medical missions, you know. Those in the education sector are coming for capacity building. The Ministry of Health recently had an online training, and they trained almost 75 in one go, virtually and physically, in the health sector. So capacity building, training, giving back, bringing back. And then we are at the stage of kicking off the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Trust Fund. And that should excite you for the economy, for your business section. So we're going to come back to talk more about that. So the idea is you're sending money home.
Yeah,
it's for
basic
things. Yeah, it's for basic things. Okay, Nancy, give this to my brother. You're paying for your Medicare,
give Mama,
schools.
$200
exactly.
Month.
So if you have the Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, you actually can put your money into a fund for investment. You know, and then don't forget we have the Diaspora Investment Summit too, which holds November every year. It's private sector driven, and it's amazing. Nigerians in the diaspora are investing in healthcare, number one, healthcare, Medicare, ICT, education, food business. That is guaranteed, and agriculture. So investment trust fund is a pool of funds that the diaspora will decide where they want to put their money, what they want to do with it. So that is coming up, and it will be private sector driven.
The question now is, fantastic stories you've given me this morning about Nigerians in diaspora doing very well, and I see those things. I also have family abroad too, and I know what they're doing.
But you haven't, I need their data.
I'll find out if, I need to find out if they're on your portal. Doing fantastically. But the question is, why are Nigerians so successful outside the country? Why?
Nigerians are also successful here. So you are successful. Maybe I would have been a failure.
I'm talking about the ratio. There are more failed Nigerians here than Nigerians that are successful. We are talking about building an economy that is almost seemingly Nancy, okay for everyone. You mustn't go to school.
No, there's no doubt we have challenges.
do well.
Yeah, there's no doubt we have challenges, and
there'll be vulcanizers out there or mechanics, and they are okay.
Let's look at the challenge. There's no doubt we have challenges. Number one is we should encourage meritocracy. You should be in that position because you are the best, not because you know somebody. We have those issues, no doubt about it, you know. And then let me ask you a question. How come Nigerians, when they leave here with their secondary school education, they excel over there? They've had a solid background here. So those are the things we should do. How do we project our very best? People tell me you're congratulating Anthony Joshua. Would he have succeeded if he was here? Maybe no. Maybe the system would not have allowed him to even get to that place.
So the
Maybe
question is about building a system that would also encourage more Nigerians or Nigerians to excel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stay here and build there.
In fact, that is part of our own goal. You have Nigerians in the diaspora who are coming home to ensure that we can make this happen.
Let me give you an example. When you're speaking with those people in the diaspora, they'll tell you, oh, I wouldn't have loved to leave, but if Nigeria was better, I wouldn't have left.
What about, Francis in Portugal? When Francis ran for Nigeria, Abike, he ran about many years ago, 15 years ago. He had an injury when he was running for Nigeria. And then Nigeria said, there's nothing we can do. Then Portugal took him up. And they became the record holder for Portugal.
That's what we're talking
about.
Let
me tell you, for 40. But get what Francis is doing now. Francis now says, we were able to reach it. Francis is now doing things back in Anambra State and training those younger ones to see how we can make sure that they are built here to be the best.
Now the question is, how do we fix that broken system that would not have abandoned the Francis in the first place?
You and
or that would have made an Anthony Joshua to be here and do well.
That is why
I think that's really the issue.
But it's key, and that's why governance is an ongoing work in progress, and it's something that we all should focus on. Even on your job here, you should be working with the very best, not because somebody brought somebody that knows somebody, then he gets a job. You have first-class graduates who are unemployed. So it's the system. We know we have broken things in our system that should be fixed, and that is why government is a continuum. These are things we should focus. How do you get the best out of ourselves as a people? When I got a job at NTA, I came first. During Unified, I came second. And we got the jobs. It took us over a year, but we got the job. But can you say the same thing for today? You have to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So that's
a symptom of a failed country or of a seemingly failed country.
My country is not a failed country. No.
I know you want to tell me to speak good or
I'm not saying you should speak good. Let me tell you what you should speak. It's about facing the reality of our challenges.
Which is happening now.
Part of it is the fact that we should put merit first. It didn't start yesterday, but for instance, in my own position, what am I doing to make a difference? What are you doing to make a difference? In my own office, you can ask my staff, we ensure that we get the best of our staff. What do we earn? Nothing. My budget is 160 million for capital. I get 8 billion per month for overhead to run the whole office of about 100 people, but I still drive the best in them. Some are not happy. They all can't be happy. But I sit with them, I say, what can we do? We are making history here. So what am I doing? What are you doing? So everything is not government. What are we doing individually?
Absolutely. In terms of putting the structures in place, in terms of school that will produce the best, in terms of hospitals that an average Nigerian can go to and get good Medicaid and all that.
I agree with you. And we have to ensure that we work towards all that. You know, we've had a lot of challenges. Okay, this Nigerians that we've spoken about, a Nigerian goes to a country and behaves badly, it's not government, it's your attitude. We have to change our attitude as a people. There has to be moral regeneration from all of us, from whether you're low or high there, and it's a reality we have to face, whether you're government or out of government, whether you're highly placed or not, there must be moral regeneration, moral reorientation, our attitudes. You know, whether you're in the private sector, whether you're in government, what is your attitude to work? Do you go to an office and somebody keeps your file and say, until you pay me? And then what is the sanction for bad behavior? These things are thriving because...
I think government should be an example in that.
There should be sanction for bad behavior and for all of us.
Yeah, government should start with that because
all of us,
if a government official... Yes.
I agree.
My associates know I don't tolerate, nonsense, so to speak. And when you're given the job, you should do the job.
Absolutely.
But I think that government should also be an example
of
that. Meritocracy, excellence, and hard work.
Well,
I tell my associates something. I said, nobody's perfect. God is the only perfect person. But on the way to perfection, you would get excellence. And I think that is what a country should mirror. everyone is talking US, US, US today. Check out what happened yesterday. President Biden came to announce that the second person that was deputizing for this guy, Osama bin Laden, was killed. That gives hope to an average American that even though things happen, things bad happens, my country will still find justice no matter how many years later.
Unfortunately, I'm not one of those who will be using America as an example. Rather, I will use Nigeria as an example. I'll take my examples from Nigeria, and I will tell you that no country will solve your problem but yourself. Let's have something. I'm not one of those who believe that you have a problem, you're not on to America and UK. You are diminishing yourself. We will solve our problems here, and all of us must collectively decide that we must solve our problems. I have nowhere to go to. Maybe you have dual citizenship. I don't. So, but honestly speaking, you've charged a sore point. We can't be running to those countries. They've gone through their own challenges. We're going through our own challenges. We will solve our problems and we'll become bigger and better.
That is, we die here. That word.
No, we'll not die here. We will survive.
We'll survive. Okay. Just before you go, I'm interested to knowing what happened. At least these students that came back from Ukraine. Is anyone
the students that came back? Well, there's a portal. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs opened actually a portal for them. I think I was told that as at last week, about over 400 and something have gone to that portal. And here's your back home. If you want to continue your education, I know some people laughed and said, well, ASU is on strike. Yeah. Yes, but they're also private institutions. They're also state institutions. Well, you had, don't let me go into that, but there are plans, there's a team working on that, and they're going there to see what next steps can be done.
Are there for those some who want other to go Nigerians still in Ukraine, or have we evacuated everyone? Evacuated all those who wanted to come back. And we're talking about 1,000 and something, not up to 2,000. So all those who wanted to come back were brought back home. Multi-agency approach. I think that's how we end today. Multi-agency approach, NIDCOM, Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Trade and Investment, because all of this has the social and the economic. I think more of the socio-economic impact. So what is your relationship with agencies around perhaps economy? Because it's also about economic diplomacy. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, and that is, even the policy stresses that. So the diaspora policy identifies these agencies and says, in fact, there should be a diaspora desk in virtually all these agencies. It's in the policy. So we have the Ministry of Health, and I think one of AFCC and a few others. So there should be a diaspora. I'm talking of here, not even abroad. So every agency, and we work a lot with all of them. For instance, what we do in NAPTIP, I get an information, I just give the DG NAPTIP, and I'm glad that immediately they take it up. So yes, multi-sector collaboration is very critical, and we're doing just that. Any other thing to say? Well, just to say that I believe in my country. There are challenges, but we all have to work together to ensure that we get out of these challenges. I'm not one for those running to some countries in Europe or America to save us. We will save ourselves, and we have to work hard to ensure our country gets to where it should be, the top of the mountain, and we will. We can't be the best people in the world, and so there are challenges, no doubt, but we need to work at these challenges. I do my own bit, you do your own bit, we all do our own bit, and collectively we'll build this country of our dreams. And I hope it will happen. The country of our dreams will happen in my lifetime, and it will not be a story. We're taking steady steps. Okay. And lastly, my own question to you, when are you joining politics? I see it in you, Sherry. She said, I'm a disciplinarian, I'm hard, so I'm expecting you. It's in you. No, it's not in my radar, really. I haven't. It was never in my radar. But I see it in you. No, don't be scared, Nancy. Don't be afraid of anything. I don't think, because I think I can also, in my own part or in my own bit, I think. Do your own thing. Yes, I think I can. To also hold people like you accountable. We want more women professionals, so I'm going to be on your case. I don't know about that, but it's not really in my radar. It's not really in my radar. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. All right, I've been speaking with Honorable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, who is the Chairman and the Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians In Diaspora Commission, and you've heard it from her. We also need, to shine the light, like I always say, be the best you can be, and be that change that you want to see. The change starts really with you. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Nancy Naji is my name. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Bye for now.